Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of Sooner Girl Sports Pod. And it is Bama week for you football fans. And I have a super exciting episode for you today with my friend Scott Baird. Scott is born and raised in Alabama, has lots of family ties to the University of Alabama, and he ended up in Oklahoma and has a degree from OU and is also a Sooner fan. So this is, as you can imagine, a very interesting week for him as he follows both OU and Alabama football religiously. And he is a dear friend of mine. He is one of the catalysts who helped encourage me to even start this podcast in the first place. It was only right for me to welcome him onto the show this week. So I cannot wait for you to hear my conversation with my friend Scott Baird. It is a combination of story time. I'm talking about memories and, of course, different things he has to share about his family ties to the University of Alabama, as well as our thoughts on our teams so far this season and going into the game. So I know you guys will enjoy my conversation with my friend Scott. But before we get there, I want to run through a few quick things with our Sooner headlines of the week. We do not have an injury report this week with Dr. Jason Linen since we didn't play. And thank goodness we haven't had any practice injuries, no injuries on the basketball court yet, nothing else really going on even with our professional athletes, former Sooners. So thankfully nothing to really report on the injury front for this week. So gave Dr. Jason Linen the week off for our injury report. But just a few things on the Sooner headlines of the week. Football, NFL. Former Sooner Nick Benito generated 8 pressures and 1.5 sacks on 24 pass rushes, including 6 quick pressures. His average time to pressure is 2.04 seconds and the second fastest mark of the season. He currently leads the NFL in total 51 and quick pressures of 28. So shout out to our former Sooner, Nick Benito, who plays for the Denver Broncos. They are doing very well this season. Been an exciting team to watch. So shout out to Nick for that. Unfortunately, our Baker lost to the Patriots in Tampa Bay this past weekend. Unfortunate loss for the Bucs, but they still have their postseason hopes alive for sure. Jalen is on Monday Night Football this week. So I'm recording this on Monday afternoon. So this evening, he is playing a Monday Night Football. I wish him well. He is my fantasy quarterback. So, of course, I wish Jalen and the Eagles well this evening on Monday Night Football. Kyler and the Cardinals, they had a tough weekend. Jacoby Brissett is doing pretty well as the backup, now the starter for the Cardinals, since Kyler was just put on injury reserve, IR, and that means a minimum of 4 additional games out for Kyler. So not quite sure what that means for him going forward. There's a lot of speculation of him possibly even being traded from the Cardinals. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, he is going to be out a little bit longer with that foot injury, and I just wish him all the best. He's really had a rough go in the pros. This is his second time to have a pretty long stint out with injuries, so really hate that for Kyler, and hopefully he can get well soon and get back to work on the gridiron. I know that's really where he wants to be. Again, OU football had a bye week. Our next game is this coming Saturday at 2:30 on ABC. On the road against Alabama and Tuscaloosa. So it'll be a good one. Talk a little bit more about that with my friend Scott, so I won't go into that too much here. Men's basketball, just a reminder for our Trae Young. He's still out for a few weeks with the Hawks. With a knee injury, nothing serious, thank goodness. But he is out a few more weeks for that. He will be evaluated in about 3 or 4 more weeks and hopefully can return to play then. On to OU basketball. Our men's basketball team, true freshman wing Alec Blair, is leaving the basketball program and will focus only on baseball. He originally signed with OU to play both basketball and baseball. He actually did play a few minutes in our season opener at home last Monday. So he said on his social media that on Wednesday morning he met with Coach Moser and said that he wanted to just go focus solely on baseball. So while that is definitely some good news for Coach Skip Johnson, I certainly hate to hear that on the hardwood with Coach Moser. Hoping it doesn't play too much of a negative impact on the roster there. But best of luck to Alec. I can't wait to see him on the diamond this spring. Our men's team did open up at home last Monday over SFU. It was a 102-66 final. We did not look good early, but we came out and got the job done in the second half. Pedal to the metal, maybe a little too late. for some teams, but we were able to get the job done in the opener. We had a 32-3 run in the second half. We outscored St. Francis 57-20 in the second half. Qual Attack had 18 points all in the second half. He had 4 3-pointers. 4 players, Pack, Davis, Brown, and Wade, scored exactly 16 points. Unfortunately, on the road at Gonzaga this past Saturday night, things did not go well. We started out again very slow in the first half, and because we were playing Gonzaga on the road, we were not able to recover from that like we were at home against St. Francis the week before. But unfortunately, it was just an ugly first half that created too much of a hole for us to crawl out of. Game 2 on the road at Gonzaga was a pretty tough ask in the first place, but we just really didn't get competitive again until that second half. Couldn't overcome the slow start. Zag's size. Mo Wade fouled out. Too much foul trouble for him. Nigel Pack, 20 points. Xavier Brown, 19. We head to McCaslin Fieldhouse for the student-only game on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Again, by the time this episode drops, that game will be done, but we shouldn't have any trouble controlling that team. And the atmosphere at McCaslin looks so much fun for that student-only game. I'm a little jealous. I would give anything to be able to go to that game. I think I needed to see what I have to do to get a press pass for that, but maybe next year. Our women's basketball is looking incredible so far. Belmont season opener at home last Monday. Peyton Verhulst had 10 points, 6 rebounds. Reagan Beers had 14 points. Chavez had an excellent start, 10 points, 3 assists. She hit a 3 to beat the halftime buzzer. 13 assists, 9 turnovers in the first 2 quarters. We won that game 84-67. We looked a little sloppy at times, but we fought when it counted and was able to get the job done. Reagan Beers finished with 29 points, 10 rebounds, 1 block. Verhulst finished with 11 points, 9 rebounds. Sahara Williams finished with 11 points, 14 rebounds, a career high, and 6 assists, which is the 4th career double-double for her. Chavez finished 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Up next is Monday evening, which again, I'm recording this on Monday afternoon. So tonight they play number 3, UCLA on the road in Sacramento. So once this drops, we will have the results of that game. So real curious to see how our girls do on the road. Such a big test early in the season, but real excited to see Jenny's girls play on the road in a big game. Did want to give a quick shout out to Peyton Verhulst and Reagan Beers. Some overdue recognition for them. Peyton has 1,000 career points and Reagan 1,500 career points. They actually achieved that late last season. They got recognized for that at the game at home last Monday. Our full baseball schedule dropped late last week. Bedlam in Tulsa at One Oak Field is on Tuesday, April 14th. You might want to make a note of that one for sure. There's lots of great teams coming to Norman this season, and the last home finale will actually be played at Bricktown Ballpark against Tennessee. So a lot of exciting games coming up for the baseball squad. So be sure and check out their schedule and make plans to get out and see them. Our softball girls had 1,565 fans gathered to watch the fall finale for a total fall attendance record of 11,044 people. A few takes from fall ball. Freshman Kai Miner shines in center field. Nellie, she had another couple homers this game. Also Gabby, Lexi McDaniel. Audrey Lowry has become the only OU pitcher to sit down the offense in order, a feat that was not replicated that night, or I don't know at all this fall. It's just been a lot of fun to see our girls playing this fall. Again, no disappointment from Patty's squad, and can't wait to see them for real on the diamond. The season starts on Thursday, February 5th. Not sure of all those details yet, but that's just based off of a countdown from social media. Thursday, February 5th will be the season opener. That will be on the road at a tournament, I'm presuming, probably on the West Coast, but stay tuned for those details as their full schedule is not out yet. Their conference schedule is out, and we have lots of great home matches coming up for the spring, so you'll want to check out social media for that and stay tuned for their full schedule, which should be out soon. Our soccer girls are currently awaiting postseason fate after the selection show, which is actually tonight, Monday, November the 10th. So as I'm recording this, I do not have any results from that selection show, but I will be posting it on my social media at Sooner Girl Pod. Twitter, of course, Facebook, Instagram stories, a great way to get this information. And I, again, of course, will report it on next week's podcast. Our wrestling guys opened their season at Missouri this past Sunday, the 9th, at the Tiger Style Invite. Ricky Thomas had a 4th placement. Brian Saldano medical forfeits, and he took 2nd place in the 184. Schubert won the scramble and pulled the upset over number 5 Cam Steed. At 149, Hunter Hollingsworth nabs a 4-1 win and sudden victory over Gavin Brown of Purdue. We had a big statement made by our freshman Anthony Harris Jr., who got his first collegiate win by knocking off number 12 Evan Bates of Missouri via decision 9-6 and got 5th place. And quick work for my DJ Parker. You will catch him on the podcast here in just a few weeks. I've already done the interview. I can't wait for you guys to hear this one. But at 197, DJ Parker got the first period pin on Noah Weaver of Purdue, and he ended up, after leading 7-0 in the first period, he defeated Thomas Deneen of South Dakota State by injury default and took home some hardware. So congrats to my guy DJ for that. And then Tank Juan Mora took the title at 285, defeated number 24 Jarrett Stoner of Missouri by decision 11-5. So shout out to our wrestling guys for a strong start to the season at the Tiger Style Invite at Missouri. I'm going to tell you, I had a great conversation with DJ Parker. Again, that will be dropping here in just a few weeks. I don't know anything about wrestling. Okay. I'm sitting here reading this information. I'm reading it straight from what I got off of Twitter from the OU wrestling account, because I learned quite a bit from my conversation with DJ, and I'm trying to learn and figure things out as we go, but I don't know a ton about wrestling, so I'm just reading to you these stats. But after my conversation with DJ, I'm hoping that you guys will also understand a little more about these stats that I'm reading and the meaning behind them and how they get there. So can't wait for you guys to hear that conversation in a few weeks. Our volleyball girls had a Mississippi State sweep at home last Wednesday night, and then the last home game against Bama this past Friday, they also swept 3-0 to close out at home, and now to close out the season on the road. Kentucky on the 14th and Tennessee on the 16th, and the SEC tournament is November 21st through 25th, and then their postseason fate past that will be decided after that tournament is over, so be sure and stay tuned for that. I have been talking with our volleyball player Sydney Thompson, and we plan to connect and record an episode for the podcast once the season is over. Our tennis women had a huge week. Eda Mamandova claimed the W50 Lincoln singles title. She won 5 straight matches without dropping a set. So congrats to her. Our tennis women are on the move this week. You can check out, again, my social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram stories at Sooner Girl Pod, or check out the OU Women's Tennis Twitter account for more information. They've got lots going on this week, and I wish them the best of luck on the road for our individuals that are competing at different tournaments around the country. Our track and field are finishing the highest men's ranking since 2016 at number 21 on the season. Collected several honors last weekend. A congrats to Evans, Ronalds, and Shadrack for a combined earn of 5 all SEC honors. SEC first team for Evans, SEC second team for Ronald, and SEC all freshman team for Evans, Ronald, and Shadrack. So pretty cool to get those recognition for our cross country guys. Shout out to them for repping well. There is the Midwest Regional on Friday the 14th in Stillwater. The Grenier Family Cross Country Course will be competing in, so stay tuned for those results on next week's show. SEC Golfer of the Week, Ryder Cohen, for record-breaking play in Hawaii. So shout out to Ryder for, again, representing our Sooners well. I did mention that on the show last week, but he has since received that SEC Golfer of the Week award, so I wanted to mention that. And I am going to give my Sooner MVP of the week to our wrestling guys, DJ Parker and Juan Mora, for taking the title and bringing home some hardware. Congratulations to them for starting off the season strong, really making a statement. So my Sooner MVP of the week goes to them. Okay, to end the show for my Sooner fun fact of the week, Whitney Palmer's 15 goals scored in 2009 still stood as Oklahoma women's soccer single season record as the Sooners entered the 2024 fall season. Okay, you guys, on to my awesome conversation with my friend Scott Baird. I hope you guys truly enjoy our conversation. We could sit and talk for hours. In fact, we have, and we still do, about all things college sports, mainly football, of course. But I hope you guys enjoy my conversation with him and get in the mood for Beat Bama week. So thank you again for all of the overwhelming support. I'm truly thankful for you guys. If you don't follow me on social media, please go do so at Sooner Girl Pod. Get your merch. I got hoodies of all colors and styles, all the things. If you don't want my picture on there, you can get one with just the script. No worries there. I have t-shirts. I actually have one on. The black style is one of the popular ones, so you can just get the script. That comes in a hoodie also, sweatshirts, long sleeve tees, hats, visors, koozies, stickers. But please download, follow, and subscribe and share with a friend and leave a review. My locker room girls, we're having an online huddle here in a couple weeks. So girls, you don't want to miss out on that. Shoot me a message and I will let you know how to become a part of that. Or you can join on Substack at soonergirlsportspod.substack.com for only $5 a month. We have so much fun. It's just a great, great group of girls. I have the best time. We have a private chat, Instagram feed. You get a discount on merch. We do our online huddles. We do in-person meetups. I do giveaways, all sorts of fun things. So please, ladies, come and join us. You will not regret it. And if you are interested in sponsoring the show or advertising your business on the show, you can hit me up at soonergirlsportspod@gmail.com. So for now, on to my conversation with my friend Scott Baird, and I will see you guys next Wednesday where hopefully we're talking about a Bama win and we will talk sports. Look, we're live on location at Scott's house. This is pretty fun. Do in person very often. So.
Takes forever to set up.
That's all right. We have fun while doing it. Yeah. Got a little distracted by some yearbooks.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, my father went to school at Alabama and went to school with some famous players, but yeah. I know he didn't really know Steve Sloan.
That's cool.
Backed up Namath and. 64, 65 ish.
Yeah.
Sloan was head coach at Vanderbilt, I think he was head coach at Duke as well, and AD at Alabama for several years.
That's cool.
But
did not know that.
Yeah.
So, talked a little bit about your dad.
Yeah.
Going to Alabama. So obviously you were born and raised there. Yeah. And then you end up in Oklahoma.
The parents got divorced. Had family in Fort Worth.
Okay.
Right.
And then you graduate from OU.
That's all that. It's crazy. Grew up, huge Alabama fan.
Yeah,
that's all I
right.
knew. Huge Alabama fan. My daddy went to school there. Had 3 cousins that played for Bryant. Some of you may have heard of Major Ogilvy.
Okay, yeah.
From the early '80s, late '70s. 3rd cousin. Never met the guy. Right.
That's okay.
But
in the family tree,
but related,
yeah.
Right. And my Uncle Hayden Riley was head basketball coach,
yes.
head baseball coach at Alabama for a little while in the 60s. All of us related, and I've met Uncle Hayden. It's been a while. He passed away in the 80s.
Right.
But so that's how the dad was.
Hardcore, yeah. Family ties.
And then getting to Fort Worth, divorced, mother comes out to Fort Worth to family, and that's how I ended up there.
Okay.
And then the Oklahoma connection, literally, man, I grew up disliking lots of teams, including Oklahoma.
That's understandable.
And then, but we never played them.
Right.
But I just had that disdain. If they were good, I didn't like them as a kid. USC, Notre Dame, when we met, I had gone to school.
Uh-huh.
Didn't do well. ran track for a year at Tarleton in Texas, and then tore my knee up, quit school, meet Marla, we get married, and we go back to school, so I ended up in Oklahoma. Great. My dad says, well, at least I got the colors right.
That's true. That's so true. It could be a lot worse.
So that's how that connected me to Oklahoma.
Okay.
Is either when we moved up here, I was going to go back to school, it was either commute to Ada or commute to Norman. I thought, it's not a question. I was like, I want to do that. So that's the connection there.
Yeah. And so my degree is in education, as is yours.
Yeah.
And funny fact for our listeners, you were a substitute teacher for Eric.
Yeah, I don't know. I was actually.
Oh, you were actually a long-term.
I was sub for a while, and when I was doing my student teaching.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right.
And then a guy quit.
That's right.
And then they're like, "Do you want the?"
Yes,
I'll love the jobs.
That's so funny.
So I taught Eric when he was in middle school.
Yeah, yeah.
He was 8th grade.
Yeah.
I had one class that I taught 8th grade over there, and the rest of my classes I think were at the high school.
So funny.
Okay, and then when I took the job, it was all. It was all in middle school. Never.
So funny. Well, in my defense, Rick is younger than me, and how much older than you?
I'm going to be 59 in a couple weeks.
Okay, so about 15 years.
Yeah.
So you're a good 20 years older than Eric.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from.
Right.
So obviously you're like me. We grew up with our love for sports.
Oh, yeah.
watching our schools and doing very well and just enjoying that. And so our love for sports has just compounded over the years. Yeah. And I have to mention, I would not want to fail to mention this because I have talked about it before. So you kind of sparked to even start doing this.
I remember you mentioning that, and I was like, I didn't even realize that.
Okay, so last Christmas, we were sitting in there at the table, and we had been joking about it, talking about it for a while, and Marla made a comment. And then I think even you were like, yeah, this was a podcast. And I'm like, well, we've been sitting here talking at the table for 45 minutes. And that's very typical of us. Yeah. Like every time we're together, that's what we do. And we're like, oh, yeah, it's been 30 minutes. But so we just sit and talk about sports. So anyway, and so I gave you the shout out in the newspaper because I felt like, I talk about Chris Plank, my radio friend. Yeah. He ignited I didn't know that I had the desire or passion to speak on a microphone. And then you were like,
you can do this.
We can do this. I mean, we sit and do it. And so now we're going to sit and do it for real for an actual podcast. So I've been looking forward to this. Yeah. We have to do this because it wasn't special. It's just too good.
So, it wasn't long after that that you called me and go, okay, I need a guest for Alabama. Yeah. I'm in.
Yeah. I'm in. Well, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too perfect.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited. And I get to do it in person, which is... Okay, so I watched Saturday Bama and LSU, which was kind of like a scouting opportunity for me, you too. So we'll be playing Alabama this week, which is why we're doing this, and then LSU in a couple weeks. Yeah. So it was a good scouting opportunity for us. But so just from that game, what are your thoughts on how Alabama looked and compared to what you think about OU? I mean, I know we're coming off a bye week, but we played very well at Tennessee. Second half for sure. So coming off of that and just our progression over the season and then watching Bama on Saturday, what are you thinking about the matchup?
I was talking to my little brother yesterday about this specifically. I can go a million different ways with this, but the line's an issue as far as run blocking. I'm not worried about the backs. I like the backs Alabama has. Okay. And we lost two. I mean, we lost the starter at Florida State this year and last year. He was in Alabama. And don't remember the name off the top of my head. But the starter at Florida State, and then the guy that backs him up at Florida State is Sawchuck.
Yes, Gavin Sawchuck.
So you got an Alabama a guy that played heavily in the rotation in Alabama, and then you got Sawchuck, who's heavily in the rotation. Both at Florida State.
And Gabe, which is Gavin's brother, is still at Oklahoma.
Okay, didn't realize that. Alabama's got to run the ball.
Yep.
And then couldn't do it even against LSU, and LSU's pretty bad stopping them.
Yeah.
Right?
From what I've seen. What little I've seen of LSU.
And they got to be able to run the ball, especially against Oklahoma. That's going to be hard to do.
Yeah.
Like throw the ball well.
Yes.
When they throw the ball well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they've had games where they've just had just enough to win.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the big thing about this team.
Yeah.
Is again, you can't have 6 minutes left and go, it's over.
Yeah.
We're good.
Exactly.
We got a one score lead. We got a 2-score. Because these guys
have found
a way to win ball games late.
Yeah.
And Marla said something about LSU. She goes real nervous about it towards the end. I'm like, they're going to win this game. I'm not. I was concerned. I'm like, these guys aren't going to beat these guys. And,
surely not. Right.
And Alabama came out.
Yeah.
Running the ball, I think, scares all of us.
Well, I mean, I think I agree with you. Like, you guys need to run the ball well. And I do feel like that strength of our defense is stopping the run.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can pass the ball, that's where you're going to get into trouble, I think, with our defense. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. Well, and on our side of it, I feel like, okay, we have some talent in running the ball if we give it to X, Xavier Robinson. Yeah. And so if we can feed him and get him to get the yards and get the plays, I think that will help us, help our chances to win. And we have to start fast because that's our problem. And we're not talking about basketball here, but that's also the problem with our basketball team right now. Yeah. They've started out slow where you can recover in some games and you can't in others. Right. They did it in their opener. They couldn't against Gonzaga, our basketball team. Yeah. Same with our football team. We can recover against some teams, but not against Texas. Right. Maybe not Alabama. So we have to think about that. And we got very lucky, I think, playing in Knoxville. I feel like we played well in the second half. Yeah. For somehow we went in at halftime and it was still, it wasn't too far out of reach. We have to start fast, and I think that's important for either team.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean,
both need to score on the first drive and get
all gas, no break. Yeah,
I knew what you meant.
And that's really the thing. And I say that a lot, and I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But you got to start strong. And I know I've talked about this with other people too. So I had my friend Travis Davison, who's on K-Riff Radio. He did a roundtable with some girls of mine after the Texas game, and we talked to him about that awful loss and all the things we were feeling. And we talked a lot about the middle eight, which some people may not be familiar with, but talking about the last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half. And of course, that's something that's pretty common to be talked about in the coaching realm, but a lot of fans may not realize what that means or the importance of it. But you think about it, and going back to the Texas game, we sucked in that middle eight spot. And that cost us in the Texas game. Yeah. And it kind of goes back to starting out big, going strong from the get-go, and don't give up just because it's almost halftime. Or don't take your foot off the gas just because, we're just coming back from half, we got a whole other half to go. Yeah. No, you got to keep the pedal to the metal. And so anyway, all that to say, I feel like we did fairly well with that in Knoxville.
I think you're right.
I think that's kind of what pushed us, gave us that edge. Because that atmosphere, have you been to Knoxville?
No. That's one I would love to go. Okay. I'd love to go to Knoxville.
I would want to as well. Yeah. But that atmosphere was incredible, especially the night atmosphere. That was,
It's a beautiful
super
place.
Jealous that I missed all of that in person. Yeah. But I think that game really showcased what we can do in that, quote, middle eight. And then, again, just staying strong to the end and, running the ball. That was a big aspect of it. So all that to say, back to what you said, it's important for you guys to run the ball, but it's going to be a challenge because of our defense.
Not at all. Not consistently at all.
Not from what I've seen. And I've only seen 2 Bama games, I believe. You guys do struggle with the run, but I think we can work that in our favor as OU fans just because we can stop the run for sure.
What I think you're going to have to watch out for, I know it's only the last 2-minute offense. When Alabama's got the ball in the last 2 minutes, they've been great all year. Been great. It's like the other day. Got to the half, and I'm like, they're going in here. And they've been really consistent. It's to the point where you're watching and you're going, okay, 2-minute drill, hadn't done anything all game. They're going to go in here, and they do. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but that 2-minute drill, they got that thing down
for sure.
So into both halves, looking for a score, they get dangerous.
Yeah,
so they are this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So, what are Alabama's strengths, do you think?
Defense has played really well.
Yeah.
Just overall.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until I heard it yesterday, day before, that Oklahoma was real close to top 5, if not top 5 total defense.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I knew they were good just from what, and I say they, I went to school. I do the same thing with Alabama, though, too. I try to be neutral when I'm talking about both. It's hard to do.
It's hard when you have 2 allegiances. And now they're playing each other. Regularly. Not just a one-time deal.
It's hard.
Oh, you're talking about their strengths.
Yeah, the defense.
Yes.
But the OU defense has played really well, except for the Texas game.
Yeah.
I think that was an anomaly.
It was.
I mean, because you play that game again, it's not going to be what it was.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I don't think so either.
6-5.
A handful of years ago, which I think it was Kyler's year, maybe Jalen, so 2018, 19-ish, I can't remember. Okay. We played Texas twice because we had to play them again in the Big 12 championship game, and we beat them twice, which was awesome. But anyway, all that to say, I wish we had another opportunity to play Texas. I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, no.
Given just the landscape of things, which is fine, but I would be curious. I don't think it would play out the same, like you said.
Oh, I know.
It would be a completely different game.
You play it 10 times, it's probably going to be 5-5.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
It might be 6, but closer than what it was. They're better than that.
I agree. And I still think, and I've talked about this nearly every daggone week since, with Mateer and his thumb, I know he says he's physically fine.
He wasn't during that.
I don't think he was. Just at Tennessee last week, there was a video of him, and Dr. Lina and I talked about this on the injury report last week, where he's high-fiving people going into the stadium, and he winces when someone and they could have hit it just right. Yeah. I'm not making excuses for him or trying to throw him under the bus, but he visibly on the video winced as he was getting high-fived, and I'm going, okay. Now, in his defense, I mean, he's going on what? 6 weeks in surgery, 5. But all that to say, I still think there's some effect that's having on things. And I also think mentally, which Dr. Lina and I talked about as well, like the mental aspect of injuries and just you're subconsciously like, oh, I don't want to get hurt again, or I got to protect it.
Yeah.
So I think there were a lot of factors at play, and I think he's moving past that. It appeared to, at least at Tennessee.
Yeah, there are a few balls at Tennessee that sailed on him, but other than that, he was tight. I rewatched Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't get to watch it live, and I never went back and rewatched it. I rewatched it the other day. He was so clean.
He was so good.
I thought he looked great against Michigan.
I did too. I think Michigan was one of the best games we played.
That's fun.
And the second half of Tennessee is the best quarters of football I've seen this year for sure. Yeah. So that Michigan game, it gave us a lot of hope because that was week 2, I believe. Yeah, we looked good and we just shut down their quarterback and Mateer looked good.
Yeah.
So it gave us a lot of hope for the season. And so I think going from that, because that game in Texas were like a month apart.
Yeah.
And you were just like, who
went,
are these people?
Wait a minute, yeah. You want the guys that showed up for Michigan to show up for Texas.
And I don't know. The defense, I don't really know what to say about that. But I will say, it's funny. I talked again with Travis Davison about this. I feel like the numbers and even just seeing like highlights of our defense during that Texas game, the numbers for our defense and just watching their highlights and stuff, I'm thinking maybe they played good enough for us to win. But our offense couldn't do crap.
Right.
And that is what cost us. And no offense, I mean, I hate to sit here dog surgery. He wanted to come back for that game, and then it just went down the toilet. And so I'd almost rather him have not played and just see what happens than him to push it, which is, I feel like, what happened. I mean, I know he wanted to play in it, but it was just a lot.
It reminded me a lot. Now, I know they're two completely separate injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But the situation reminded me a lot of Bradford.
Oh, gosh, yes.
When Bradford went down, I can't even remember what the injury was, but he went down with something relatively serious, and they're pushing and stressing and trying to get him ready for Texas.
Yeah.
And he lasted.
Yeah. Okay, so going into the game, I feel really good about our defense, assuming that, we're going to...
I feel really good about Oklahoma defense, too.
Yeah, you do. Assuming we're going to continue to play the way that we've played.
Yeah.
And then I actually feel really good about our offense if, Mateer is second half Mateer, Michigan Mateer, which hopefully he's getting back to that since we've seen him progress over the weeks. And then run the ball, which part of me, I kind of think that, okay, did Arbuckle finally get the memo, so to speak? Okay, we need to run the ball. Like, this is what we got to do. And so get the ball, hand it off to X and let him go and see what happens. So I think, to me, that's our key, is to stay consistent on defense, stop you guys, and keep Mateer. Give him plenty of time. Get our O-line. Yes, our O-line's been another soft spot for us. We've had a lot of injuries and turnover with that, but we've had a pretty strong group of 5 that started the last 2 games for sure, and they've done well. I feel like there's been so much shuffling around. The ones that have had to step up and move over have done very well. So if they can continue to do that and protect him, that will definitely help us for sure. Yeah. So that's kind of what I feel like going in.
You were talking about the Oklahoma offensive line. Alabama's doing something, again, I'm not an expert, but they're rotating those guys and have been rotating offensive linemen all season.
Really? I didn't know that.
And I'm going, I know there's a point. Are you looking for I don't know that they're looking for the 5. The starting 5 may be different next week.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Okay, well, just from what I've seen,
which is so unorthodox.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I said, OU's been doing that too, but it's been because of injuries.
Right.
Because they're dropping like flies.
Right.
We lost our center, and then we lost our backup center, and then we lost our right tackle, and then the left tackle moved to right. It's just been nuts. But I feel like everybody's stepped up and done what they needed to do. But it did take some time. There was one game earlier in October. Maybe it was a Texas game I was frustrated with. I don't remember. But just thinking about the frustrations there. And then I kind of feel bad a little bit for them going, well, they're not used to playing on the right side. They're used to being on the left. Or we've got freshmen playing. Foje, for example, we got him starting on an O-line against South Carolina. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a big deal to go from, okay, well, I've never started a game before, to, okay, I'm going to start against an SEC team. And so it's been interesting to see them doing that. All that to say, all of our shuffling has been because of injuries. Yeah. So I can't imagine the mental toll that it's taken on these guys. So why on earth would y'all be doing that, quote, on purpose?
I don't know.
I didn't know that they were doing that.
Yeah,
so.
And I hadn't gotten in depth. I know there's a lot of truth to, and it sounds like coach speak, but I know it's got to be true. especially on the line or in a team sport. You got to trust the guy next to you.
You sure
but especially on the line,
you sure
the
do.
Communication,
it's like a next
who's got
level
who
up there,
and why and where, and
for sure. Well, tell me about Ron Williams, because he's like a big name that most people are going to recognize for Alabama, and I've seen him play. Like he's usually exceptional.
Yeah, a few weeks ago he had the most drops in the NCAA.
I saw that. So, what are your thoughts on him? Like, what's going on? Do you think
he's not playing like he did last year?
He's not.
He's dropping balls. The kid's fast.
He's very fast.
He's got great. The Georgia game last year. I mean, that's all you have to say to anybody that watched that.
Yeah, we all saw it. Yeah,
he's pretty brilliant. I love the kid.
I just wonder what's going on with him.
Love the kid. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if something was in his head early.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I really don't. But kid's talented.
He is.
And to be just 18.
I know. He's so young. Yeah. I just hope that maybe, he is very talented, and I'm not trying to shortchange him at all.
No. But there's a question mark.
There is a question mark there. But I think that as you as a team, we can look at that and go, okay, he's not 100% for whatever reason. Yeah. We're going to try to capitalize on that and, focus and, figure out how to maybe try to even limit him more if he's becoming a factor or whatever. So
at receiver, Jeremy Bernard, he came with DeBoer from Washington.
Okay.
Number 5.
Okay.
That kid's kind of taken over.
Okay.
In clutch situations, they've been going to him. They've been running the ball with him, running sweeps, trying to get him outside. But Bernard is probably your top receiver right now.
Okay.
But they got a handful of good ones. Isaiah Horton came from Miami. He's played well. I think I'm with you with Williams. There's an issue somewhere. Don't quite know what it is. Because he's better than he's played this year.
Oh, for sure.
And he just demonstrated that at 17 years old last year. So he'll come along. I'm not worried about it. It's going to happen, but I just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I agree.
But Bernard's the guy you got to watch out for, and Isaiah Horton's really good too. The tight ends have been coming on.
Okay.
Kid they go to quite often, Cuevas, I think is his name, Cuevos, tight end. He's been making some good plays too, especially third down stuff.
That's important.
Yeah. Yeah, so receivers, they've got good receivers. They've got some good tight ends. And Ty, the quarterback, has been fabulous.
He has been good.
He's been really good.
He's been very accurate. He was good the other night, for sure.
Yeah, Alabama's been lucky or fortunate since a lot of it's who they were wanting to go play for.
For sure.
Since they've had Saban. I was telling somebody recently, at one time, or when I was a kid, or even 10 years ago, can you name an Alabama quarterback in the NFL that started consistently?
Probably not.
I can't, and I'm a fan. Richard Todd played for the Jets for quite a long time. Gary Rutledge, great backup quarterback in the NFL. Played with the Giants, won some Super Bowls with the Giants and with the Redskins. I think he played for 3 different teams. But that was the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
That was actually the early 80s. But there just haven't been any. And then I thought even McCarron would do well.
I did too.
I really did.
I thought he would do well.
And he could have won 3 national titles in a row if it hadn't been, what was that, 11, 12, 13. Kick 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I expected more out of McCarron as well. And actually, I'd kind of forgotten about him until just recently his name had come up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about him. That's a good example, though, of somebody that kind of fell off.
McElroy was like another Rutledge or those guys, a good backup.
He does announcing now, right?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Yeah. I don't mind McElroy. Yeah, you had 2 quarterbacks between there. You had Jake Coker, and then you had from Florida State transfer, and Coker won a national title at 15. And Blake Sims was the year before him at 14. But then that's when you got into Jalen, Tua, Mac Jones, all being in the same locker room at the same time.
Yes, and isn't that crazy to think? Because I remember, I think that would have been 18 or so when Jalen gets benched in the SEC championship and Tua comes in, and it's just okay. And then he turns around and plays at OU the next year, which we
2 years later.
2 years later,
he sat a whole year on the bench.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yes,
and then brought Alabama back against Georgia in the SEC championship game when Tua got hurt.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
The next year.
That's right.
Yeah, the table kind of flipped.
He had such a roller coaster there. And honestly, Tua has really had a roller coaster as well, even now in the NFL. But that's just crazy to think. I had forgotten that the 3 of them were in the same room at the same time until I don't think it was long ago. I saw a picture, like somebody's like, "Do y'all remember when these three were on the Alabama roster together?" And I was like, "Holy smokes!" Like it's just insane.
Do you know who the receivers were in that room when
Oh,
all three of those
gosh.
guys were there? Jerry Jeudy.
Okay, Judy. Yes.
Talk about speed.
Yeah, that's
Jerry Jeudy.
fun to watch.
Devontae.
Yes, Devontae. Yes. Oh,
Two of those guys. There were four. I'm leaving somebody out. John Mechie.
Mechie, yes.
And Waddle.
Okay.
But there was another one. There was a fifth.
Okay.
Waddle may have come in when those guys were sophomores.
Okay.
But
but you talk about those names and then you look at where they are now and they're all in the NFL. And that's how that LSU team was. What was that, 2019? We played them in the Peach Bowl and they kicked our ass, which we all knew was coming because like the whole roster went to the freaking NFL and they all played. Yeah. And now poor Joe Burrow, he can't catch a break. I feel so bad for him. And we went to that game and I didn't regret going. I was scared to play LSU, obviously, given that situation. Yeah. But it was so cool to be able to see that team because they were something else to watch. They really were. Yeah. But just seeing where they are now and everything is great. And like I said, poor Joe Burrow, he can't catch a break.
I know.
But anyway.
We're talking about the quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Then you can add that to that other one. You got, what would we say, Mac to Jalen. And then after Mac, Bryce.
Oh, Bryce.
So you got.
Oh my God.
So last weekend you probably had 5 Alabama quarterbacks starting in the NFL. When for years there was not one.
Well, and honestly, you can say the same thing. And as much as no one likes Lincoln Riley, I can't even believe I say that name. We have other names for him that I won't say on here. But we call him Tebow, the bitch out west.
Oh, that's good.
But anyway, I mean, he was like a quarterback factory, and even still with USC having Caleb Williams and Spencer Rattler left and finished at South Carolina, but like he's the one that brought in those quarterbacks, and he is an offensive mastermind. Yeah, I will give him that. Absolutely. I don't want him back. Yeah. Oklahoma does not want him back as a state or a school. Yeah. I will give him that, and all of our quarterbacks that are very successul in the NFL, but we can thank Lincoln for that. Yeah. And I hate to give him the flowers, but I got to when they're due. But it's fun to watch him though. But like you said, it was kind of like a while. We had Sam Bradford; he couldn't stay healthy in the NFL, and then we just kind of had a little drought there with quarterbacks for sure. Yeah. But and then Bill Bedenbaugh has done so well with our O-line, getting them drafted for the last 10, 15 years. Done very well there. But it's just cool to see your guys go on to the next level, and I will always watch them. Yeah. I always will, and it's cool because Eric will be like, "There's so and so on Sundays." Yeah. Where'd he go? How I know them, and I like to follow them, and I don't have a lot of allegiances, so to speak, to an NFL team per se. I'm a Baker fan, so and I became a Tampa Bay fan because of Tom Brady. Which before that I was a Patriots fan for 20 years.
We're similar in that.
So I just follow my players, and so I don't have a lot of allegiances. I didn't grow up a Cowboys fan.
Well, see, that's what I was going to say. I grew up a Cowboys fan, even in Alabama, because I had relatives in Fort Worth that were huge Cowboys fans. So late 90s.
Well,
when all the extracurricular stuff was happening, and it was crazy. Yeah. At Valley Ranch, kind of quit with pro football. You got Jalen, you got Devontae, you got one of my favorite offensive linemen of all time. You got Landon Dickerson.
Oh, I like Landon.
You got who else plays for the Eagles?
You got the Eagles. Devontae's there too.
They had John Mechie for a few weeks, and they just traded him to the Jets.
Right. I think he's with the Jets.
And there's a couple of defensive guys. You got 2 defensive linemen that played at Georgia, Jordan Davis, and who's the other one, that are just studs.
Okay, yeah.
And they're both on the defensive line for Philadelphia. I've been a Philadelphia fan for a couple of years. And I've been pulling for Philadelphia just because those Alabama guys and those
well, we have Lane Johnson.
Right. Lane Johnson's point guard. That's right.
And Grant Calcaterra, I still consider him a Sooner, even though I know he left and finished at SMU.
So there's a lot of reasons for Philadelphia.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We went to Philly last November. They played the Commanders. It's a Thursday night football game. Yeah. But it was so awesome. Like, that stadium's really cool. Their fan base is really cool. Yeah. Their sports complex out there is really neat. But the Eagle, if I had to pick a team, I would for sure pick probably the Eagles and Tampa Bay, just because the majority of the roster, like I remember, Mike Evans, yeah, he played at A&M. Like I remember him.
exactly.
And, I mean, they're having a lot of change in their roster. Of course, Mike Evans is out, but I've grown to love some of their new players for Tampa Bay. Of course, Baker, I'll follow him wherever.
Yeah, and I agree with. Did I hear something about Mayfield saying something about wanting to go back to the dreamsicle colors?
Oh gosh, yeah, he loves the dreamsicles. Yeah,
I'm with it. Didn't they wear those a few weeks ago?
Oh, they sure did. Yeah, they're slick.
And when they're in all white, those look as good as when they're in all orange.
I
hate orange.
I mean,
orange. But the Buccaneers uniforms, those old ones. Cool.
Yeah, they were
those
cool.
were really cool.
My favorite, I love the anthracite, and the Bucks have a kind of an anthracite color with the maroon, I guess you would call it. I really do like the creamsicle, and that's saying a lot because I don't like orange.
Okay. just for fun, I know it's off subject.
Yeah.
Because I have a favorite.
Best jerseys?
Best uniforms in the NFL.
Oh God, Kelly Green, Eagles.
And I hated the Eagles.
Okay, well, okay, I'll give you that.
New Orleans in the all white. With the gold and the black.
Like
that's so cool looking.
That's pretty sick, yeah. I would have to say that the creamsicle ones are a pretty close second, but I'll be honest, I don't know that I would have given the creamsicle much thought. I follow them so closely now and have for 5 years now because of Brady and then Baker. So yeah, but I love the Kelly Green Eagles.
It disappointed me when I saw OU go to any sort of different uniform.
Yeah.
I was disappointed when they changed the helmet logo to the wider. A lot of people didn't notice it, but the elongated OU versus the what's on there now, the bothers. It just bothers.
I have seen so many people talk about different logos throughout the years. I have a necklace from the 80s, like the 80s logo. I don't know. I guess it's just part of it. I don't know. I try not to overthink it too much just because I think it would drive me crazy. But I do get what you're saying, like just those little changes. But it's funny to see like how they've changed over the years.
But they don't make. I mean, they have made some major changes to the uniforms, but it hasn't been. It's not like they're Oregon or Baylor or whomever.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I don't like. Uniforms. I hate like the yellow. Like a couple weeks ago, Green Bay wore like
They look good in the all white.
They do look good in the all white. I like the green and yellow together, but I like it more muted and not so much. But like yellow was their uniform for yellow. Yes, I think it was.
I think I missed that.
Monday was it Monday night a couple weeks ago? I don't know.
So yellow jerseys instead of green that were all yellow.
And it had like a darker green trim.
Okay.
But it was all yellow, and it was mustard yellow. It was awful. Okay. It was terrible. Yeah, well, anyway, I freaking hated this. Yeah. And I don't like when Oregon does. I don't mind Oregon necessarily. I really like Dan Lanning.
Oh, I do too. That's who I wanted at Alabama. I was hoping they'd get Dan Lanning.
I'm a big fan of Dan Lanning. I'm not sad that we have Brent Venables because I love him.
That's who I wanted at Oklahoma.
Yeah. Had we ended up with Dan Lanning, if Venables said no or whatever, absolutely. I would not have been sad. And that's before. I mean, he's been very successful. I just like him as a person. I think he's a really good guy. But Oregon, I don't necessarily have a problem with per se. Now, we have some Sooner ties to their softball team.
Okay.
We've got some coaching ties there with their softball team. Melissa Lombardi, she's a former coach at OU, and Sid Romero is now there. She played at OU. So I don't have a problem necessarily with Oregon as a whole.
Yeah.
But
just
I don't like their yellow uniforms. I think they're awful.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't like yellow.
We talked about this earlier. Alabama's made super minor changes before. They went back in the 90s or early 2000s. They it was small. Mm-hmm. They did around the collar. I think it might have been the sleeves too, where they did a black and white houndstooth around the collar. So they've done that before. Okay. But even from a distance, you couldn't even see it, which was fine with me. Yeah. All the Alabama fans don't want to see any change to the uniform. Right. But if they went back to the white helmets on the road, red numbers, because they did that in the 60s. Okay. And they did it for a season or two when Ray Perkins replaced Bryant. Well, he played on those 60s teams that had the white helmets, and that's why they did that, I'm sure.
I really like our road whites. I think they're very crisp, clean. I really like them.
Great. Looks like Alabama. There's no change except for the black face.
I am pretty partial to the anthracite jerseys. Yeah. I really like those, especially when they have like the reflective kind of lettering on it. Yeah. I'm a big fan of those.
Tennessee in black.
Yeah, that was sick.
See, we're opposite.
Really?
I'm such a traditionalist. I'm like,
I know,
I can't sit here and watch this game knowing Tennessee's playing in black.
It was awesome, though.
It was brutal.
I think it was just because, given the atmosphere.
Yeah, no, I get
it. Or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. I think it was the culmination of the whole thing. I think it was the atmosphere, the night game. Their entrance was incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Running through the tee. That's what they do. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
And having it lit up when that was just really cool.
Yeah.
So I think the dark jerseys really played into that.
Yeah.
I mean,
speaking of the lighting and everything, I haven't been back to Tuscaloosa since they put in the LED.
Oh yes.
The red LEDs around they black everything out and do the LED. I haven't been back to Tuscaloosa since they've done that. That's really neat. I know they do it in Norman. Well, I've been to Norman since then.
Yeah. So that's right. You did go last year. Okay, so let's talk.
Not expecting that at all.
Let's talk about.
It's never happened to me before in Norman, but I got OU fans going, "What are you leaving for?"
Yeah.
What are you leaving for?
Was your brother with you? Oh, that's what I thought. So that game last year was very unexpected for a lot.
Everybody,
literally everybody.
Yeah.
So my niece went with me. It was her very first football game.
Brilliant. Good
ever.
For her.
So
you picked a good one to take her to.
Picked a good one. And I told her, I said, this is not normal.
Right?
I can't tell you, I have not experienced very many games like this in my lifetime, and I've gone to a whole bunch. But that was incredible. I mean, I don't know what happened. We just kicked it up to the next level.
And I couldn't do anything.
They couldn't do anything.
Nothing.
We shut them down
Completely.
And Jalen Milroe, he didn't know. He did not know. I will never understand what happened.
There are people in Alabama, fans and message boards and stuff I look at occasionally going, why didn't Ty play last year? Now,
well, I can't blame you for asking.
I was a Milroe fan from the beginning when I knew nothing about him other than high school. Yeah. I thought, okay, this kid might be another, because Saban recruited him, and whatever he says, I'm good.
Absolutely.
Brother Christian would question, or I would even question and stop myself and go, look, man, whatever the man's doing is working.
I'm not questioning.
You know.
My niece wanted to storm the field afterwards because, we figured that was probably what was going to happen. So I'm like, okay, if they do it, we'll go. So we did. I wanted her to experience that. You know, I've done it before. Yeah. So
okay.
I was kind of like, whatever.
It's out there somewhere. But I can remember the last time I saw an Alabama home game get field rushed.
Oh, my gosh. I don't think it happens much there. Okay, I was going to say, I don't know that it's happened that I've seen.
And that was in Legion Field. That's where they played all the big games.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Auburn, of course, that was every year. But Tennessee, Auburn, when we had a 10-year deal with Penn State, home and home, that was all those big games were played in Legion. They played the Northeast Louisiana States in Tuscaloosa. Yeah. And play homecoming in Tuscaloosa. And that's why, if you ever see it, you'd hear something about in the early 2000s, Alabama hadn't lost a home game, but 2 or 3 home games since the 60s. Oh. Because they played all the big games.
That's so crazy.
Because they played all the big games at Legion Field.
That's messed up.
Right? So, anyway. But my point is that I remember it being field rush. It was 85. Yeah. They hadn't done anything. No. Actually, it was Alabama-Auburn. Game had gone back and forth. And then Mike Shula's playing quarterback. Okay. Mike Shula gets them down with a few passes, and Van Tiffen kicked. It was a 50-yarder at least. It was either 52 or 57. I can't remember how long it was, but it was over 50. Okay. With no time left to win.
Oh my God!
Then that got. But I don't remember any other field rush.
Yeah. I feel like we've done it in Norman a couple of times.
2000 Nebraska.
Now that I was a part of for sure. I was going to say.
We stood there and Christian and I did the lead. We were just watching the goalposts go back and forth. I didn't know what to do with it.
I will never forget that day. I still remember it very vividly. Yeah. So many things about it. My face was painted that day. Yeah. I climbed a fence and got on game day behind Kirk Herbstreit. My dad was so proud. Of course, we have no proof of it because it was 25 years ago. Yeah. But anyway, I was going to say 2000 Nebraska, and that was more than warranted in my opinion.
They went up 14-0.
For sure, it's incredible. Yeah. Like we came back, and then we just
it was all Oklahoma.
Yes, it was. We beat them 31-14, I believe. Yeah. I feel like maybe we've stormed it once since then. I'm trying to remember. I personally have not. Yeah. But I feel like it's happened.
I do remember the 2000 Nebraska.
I do feel like it happens too often these days. So I'm just like, come on. Like, get over yourselves. Like, it's got to be a big freaking deal.
I get Vanderbilt beating Alabama last year. It's a huge deal.
For sure. Oh, my gosh, absolutely. Yeah. Do I think that we should have stormed after beating Alabama last year? To be honest,
to me, it's just not a good look.
To be honest, I don't really see the point in it because
act like you've been there.
Getting out of that.
Right.
I mean, I know we kept y'all out of the playoffs, which is the big thing. Right. But what did we do? What we went to the Armed Forces Bowl and got our ass kicked by the Navy? Like, what the hell? So I don't really feel like there was much that at stake that we were like, oh, we've conquered this. Right. So we've done. I mean, other than keeping y'all out of the playoffs was really okay. Whatever. I don't have a lot of animosity toward Alabama like a lot of people do. And I think I don't have a problem with dynasties, okay? Patriots, Sooner football, even the Cowboys to some degree had a dynasty when they won back-to-back Super Bowls back in the 90s. Alabama football. I don't have a problem with those programs if they achieve greatness and can repeat it over and over. UCLA softball, same thing. Arizona softball back in the day. I don't have a problem with the dynasties. Exactly.
Go beat them.
Do it yourself. Us keeping y'all out of the playoffs is not something that necessarily made me proud. Right. I'm glad we beat you. I think it was fun that we beat you.
But if it'd been Oklahoma State or Texas.
Well, we're not going to get off on Oklahoma
State. No, I'm just saying, I'd have been the same way.
Oklahoma State has a low bar.
But I'm just saying, if you kept Oklahoma State out of the playoffs, that's what I'm saying.
No, for sure.
If you kept Oklahoma State out of the playoffs.
That is very true. I don't really feel like we have that relationship, which is what your point is. Like with Alabama, like Texas, for example. Like, if we kept Texas out of the playoffs, we probably would have.
Yeah, but to your point, the Alabama-Oklahoma game, to me, and I've heard other Alabama fans say it, I just don't know. I get the vibe with OU and Alabama playing that I did with Alabama and Penn State playing anytime they play. And that's been since they did the 10-year. And that is, there's a lot of respect on both sides for both sides. You know, you hate LSU, you hate Auburn, you hate Oklahoma State, you hate Texas, but there's just, and you respect those teams too, don't get me wrong.
Right, but it's a different
But you really respect, I feel as an Alabama fan and as an Oklahoma fan, I respect both sides, and I think most fans on both sides are the same way.
I agree.
There's no real hate there, it's just, they've been really good historically, both teams.
I agree.
They're serious. I heard somebody talking about Blue Bloods. Well, those are top 5. If you're going to name Blue Bloods in college football, those
absolutely.
2 are going to be somewhere in the top 5. Who did I hear somebody call? I want to say they want to call Texas Blue Blood. And I just went, I get it, but you got, seriously? How many Big 12 titles did they win?
1 or 2?
Maybe 2? How many national titles did they win? Well, they've got 2 that I know of.
Yeah.
Right?
Vince Young, 05.
And 72 or whatever it was. 70.
I agree. I don't consider them a blue blood.
I don't either. They've been good historically and relatively consistently, but they're
not overall.
Yeah.
I felt the same way. We went to Nebraska a few years ago, which we had a lot of false hope for that game for sure. But I felt the same way for the most part. I mean, I know there's a bad one in every bunch, but Nebraska has that respect for Oklahoma. Oklahoma has that respect. And same, like, they made a big deal out of the game of the century, the 50th anniversary. Barry Switzer and Coach Osborne talking about it and just their respect for each other and gratitude for what they did for each other and the programs and everything that they built. And I thought that was so cool. And I feel like, if OU and Alabama had that kind of relationship, it would be different. But that's how I feel, though, that we could have that respect. You know what I mean? We don't have a lot of animosity like we do. Yeah, but toward Texas and OSU and now even USC, which we've had some bones to pick with USC for 20 years before Tebow got there. Yeah. But your USC, even LSU, which I think is a pretty recent hatred, so to speak. Yeah. But LSU fans are not. They're not fun. Yeah. But I mean, personally, I don't think we've had a lot of encounters with them. I mean, I can recall 3 times that we've played them, and all within the last 25 years. I was at 2 of them. I will not be going to any game that we play LSU away from Norman or any home game for them, like in Baton Rouge. Yeah. I will be there this year because we're in Norman. Yeah. But I don't jive well with the LSU.
I got no interest in going.
I don't either. You don't want me to go.
Knoxville. I want to go to Knoxville. I'd love to see a game.
I'd love to go there too. Yeah, that's on my list for sure.
Yeah, I've never been to Auburn. Christian said my older brother went to an Auburn game one time.
Auburn, I think, would be cool. Yeah, with their War Eagle, and that'd be really neat. Yeah, that's on my list. But yeah, I I don't necessarily have a problem with Alabama as a program, as a team, whatever. I have that respect for them because y'all have done so much. And even Alabama softball, I mean, it's because we got a lot of softball lovers. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's a lot of animosity there either.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect. But this is one thing I definitely wanted to ask. What are your thoughts on Kalen DeBoer?
Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah. Were you happy when he got hired?
When I first heard it, I was good with that.
Okay.
I was all right with that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who he was. If they hadn't been in that playoff.
Yeah, for sure you wouldn't have known he was. I agree with that.
I mean, what? He played at Sioux Falls State or something?
Yeah.
He coached at Sioux Falls State and then I know there was a Sioux Falls University or whatever, right?
Right.
But I was good when they hired him. At the time, I would have rather had Dan Lanning. If I was going to pick, that was my first choice. But like my father says, they didn't ask us.
They didn't ask us.
So yeah, it's like anybody else. I miss the hell out of Saban, but it's not the same. But I don't blame him. I do like Kalen DeBoer. I like what they're doing. I like the offense, and I miss.
Yeah.
You miss all that.
You can't not miss him.
Yeah. It's like Switzer.
Yeah, Switzer. Even Stoops.
Right.
I mean, the good thing for us when Stoops left, well, he handed it off to Riley, which we all were hoping a lot of things went different.
Oh, sure. Myself, yeah.
I mean, it was an easier transition.
Absolutely.
We had somebody in-house.
He was handpicked by Stoops.
And, you guys really didn't have that. And I kind of feel like, when Patty Gasso retires, not to go off on softball, but she comes to mind. But I feel like, again, her staff is handpicked, being, quote, groomed for her departure in the next handful of years. So I kind of feel like that's what Bob Stoops was doing. And I kind of wondered, why didn't Saban do that? Because I don't feel like y'all had an apparent heir, so to speak, to take over the way when Stoops left and everybody said Lincoln Riley's taking over, and we're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like when Gasso leaves and everybody says, hey, her son's going to take over, we're all going to be like, cool. But y'all didn't have that, and that kind of shocked me, to be honest.
That Saban wasn't more involved in it didn't surprise me because I think he just kind of wanted to separate himself from the head coaching position altogether. Well, that's just me. I don't know. But
I was shocked that necessarily there wasn't an apparent heir to the Alabama.
Because he knew in his heart he was probably going to go do game day.
Well, probably.
He just knew that, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to let them do their thing. And if they ask me questions, I'll give them some advice.
I don't blame them.
But I'm not going to pick the guy.
And Miss Terry probably told him it's time to go. Go for her.
I believe him, and I understand why he left. You got people out there people just wanting to talk smack. Yeah. He didn't want to deal with this. Damn right, he didn't want to deal with this. You're 73. You've done what you've done.
He will never be replicated.
Well, he did say.
It took a while, though.
Yeah, he said he was 73 when he retired, but he said he had a kid come in at the end of the 21 or 22 season. Mm-hmm. Had a kid come in and go, "Any more money?"
See, he did not.
Just came into the office
with that.
But he never said who it was. And he said that he had a player that he was very disappointed in that had entered. He didn't really say that often.
Oh,
I think it might have been the same kid. Okay. He said at that point he was getting the message. I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm not doing that. And I don't blame you.
I don't either.
It's not what we all signed up for, man.
It's not.
And I know I'm getting off on a different subject.
No, I know, but I go off on this a lot.
Contracts? Make them sign contracts. Salary cap.
It's not
put a salary cap
all the time.
And put a salary cap on it. Every school can only spend so much. Yeah. Then we're on a level playing field. Yeah. Because otherwise, the Texas fans, you guys should have been winning national titles one after the other when Mac Brown was there because you had the top 5 recruiting class every single year. Yeah. Why weren't they winning? I love Mac Brown. But in my heart, I'm like, that's coaching. Yeah. They had players.
I agree. No, I completely agree.
And I love
Mac Brown. At some point, you have to look at that. But I don't blame Saban for being like, I'm not doing this.
Oh, I don't
little thing. I mean, we know how he feels about it.
Because you can ask Marla, I was this close to going, I'm done.
I know.
I'm done altogether.
It's so hard. It
done.
really is. I don't blame you. It's definitely been a factor, and it's not the same. And I've had so many people tell me, I don't even really enjoy watching anymore because you don't know, you can't get attached to somebody because they may or may not be there next year.
It was hard enough when they started letting them go.
Yeah. Well, we could gripe about the portal all day for sure.
That's a whole episode.
And it is, and I gripe about it on a pretty regular basis on here. I don't want to say I gripe about it. I'm like you. I think there should be more stipulations.
There needs to be rules.
In last week's episode, I did a basketball episode. and we talked about Porter Moser, our basketball coach, our men's coach, and he was, I don't want to say he was as adverse to it as like Saban, but he was not a fan of the portal, and he wasn't taking advantage of it, which you have to do this day and age. So he just decided, and he made a statement about it at their media days, and he said, "I've just decided that this is how it's going to be. So I'm just going to lean into the portal,
have to,
and make the best of it." And I was like, okay, yeah, like Dalvin, he took his first player from the portal ever last year.
Yeah, because
he was so adverse.
Because he came out and said, "I'm not doing this."
But look what's happened, And I look at our basketball roster now, and we have a very good, talented roster now. I know we didn't play well against Gonzaga. I'm hoping that was a one-up thing. But anyway, I think it's just the way that it is, and we have to embrace it to some degree because, well, it's like there's so many other things in the world. It could be literally anything. You just have to adapt with change. I don't like change. I don't. Right. But sometimes you're like, okay, we just got to go with the flow kind of deal. But I do feel like there should be some more stipulations on the portal. But again, we could go off on that for
the box is open.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But I do think, like Porter Moser said, that's just how it is. And Brent Venables said this also. Like, he's not a fan of it either.
Right.
But you have to adapt to it and just make the best of it. And you try to create an atmosphere, a home where people want to stay. Yeah. And you try to show them, like, okay, we appreciate you. Yeah. Here's what we're going to do to show that.
And you're re-recruiting players you have on campus.
You're re-recruiting your whole roster every freaking year, all year long. I do think it will help that they dropped the late spring.
That's what I was going to say. Thank God.
I do think, and I think that was the best one to drop.
And they did move. There's only one now.
They moved the fall or the winter window.
After bowl games you play.
I have a whole other conversation on the bowl games and sitting out the bowl games and going in the portal before your season is technically over, in my opinion. I know most these bowl games don't matter.
I know, but they're essentially professional players.
They are. So to have to finish what they started with their teams.
Yeah.
You signed for the season. This is a result of that season.
Contracts and salary cap.
And if they're going to have merch with their names on it, they should be able to get
absolutely
a cut of that. That's just my name on there. I want part of the money.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. No.
But anyway.
Like we said, I think they owe them the money.
I agree.
Right.
They're the ones earning, and especially with football. Football is the revenue sport for all the universities.
And it doesn't happen without those guys.
It doesn't happen. So they deserve it, but I do think there needs to be stipulations.
Yeah, rules.
But to wrap up what I wanted to finish talking about this weekend for the game, what are your thoughts as far as what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that the atmosphere is going to take over?
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope if they can start, it's just like any other game, man. Yeah. If they can start quick, get up on either one of them.
Yeah.
But if Alabama can get up quick, get on them, and play defense the way they played, it ought to work out. Yeah, crowd's going to be an issue.
I agree. I'm glad it's not another night game on the road for OU. I will say that.
You got just over 100,000.
That's a lot of people.
And it'll be full. So it's going to be loud. Yeah, they're going to get into it. And so it'll be a factor. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. Yeah. With either one of them, they haven't been super predictable.
They really haven't. Well, so I'm hoping, since we were able to capitalize on our strengths and overcome that environment in Knoxville, I'm really hoping we can do the same. I know it's going to be, it's a next level kind of loud there in Tuscaloosa. So I don't know, like you said, I think that both teams have strengths, which we've talked about, and then both teams have some weaknesses, which we've talked about. Yeah. So if they figure each other out and kind of all get on the same page, it could definitely go one way pretty quick. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see kind of what plays out. But
don't really know what to expect.
No, I agree. I know that we're an underdog. Like, I think the last time I looked, maybe like a 6 or 7 point underdog was the last thing I saw. Of course, that changes by the day. I don't think our
being at home is some of that.
Absolutely. I don't think our injury report is much to be overly concerned about. I think the ones that we've had out should be back. Maybe even a couple extra. So I've heard. Don't know how true that is, but we'll see. I don't know much about y'all's injuries.
I think injuries with Alabama are the same guys that have been out the past 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks.
Okay, so
and there's only less than a handful.
Oh, you're consistent.
I think they're basically full strength. And we've actually got some outside backers that are coming in that have replaced it. Didn't OU third in the country in sacks.
We're pretty up there in sacks. Well, and you brought this up a while ago about our defense being top 5. We were ranked number 1 in several categories before Texas for sure, and then we kind of tanked a little bit.
Again, I think that was an anomaly.
I do too. Out of all the categories, we were 5th in one, 2nd in another, and 1 in all the other categories. And now, I think that's
still
fluctuated a little bit, but I think
I
think we're still in the top 5 in all the defensive categories. Yeah. And sacks, like our guys, like
but Oklahoma's going to get some sacks.
Y'all go for them for sure. But I'm hoping our guys, like I mentioned before, I'm hoping that our O-line can protect him for a lot of reasons.
Same thing on the Alabama side.
Yeah.
Because they struggled in places when you got arguably one of the best defenses in the country and one of the best lines and defensive lines in the country playing a pretty average Alabama offensive line. And
aren't you guys sitting? What's your record? Okay, that's what I was thinking. And you're coming in ranked in the top 5 in the CFP for sure.
It's 4. Ohio State, Indiana. Yeah. What's in the water in College Station?
Dude, I don't know.
They're doing something right.
They're doing something. Christian
and I went to Cotton Bowl with Alabama, Texas in 80. It was either that. I want to say it was the 81. It was either the 81 or the 82 season.
Okay.
It was that Cotton Bowl. Christian and I went to that. Christian was in elementary school. Right? And I was in 7th grade.
Oh my goodness.
8th grade. Christian got so much heat from those elementary school kids about Texas beating Alabama. That's the main reason he hates Texas.
Well,
just taking so much of that as a kid. I think he dislikes them more than I do, and that's kind of hard to do.
I understand.
It goes a long way. The childhood.
Absolutely. Yeah. You take a beating from those fans once or twice, you're pretty much done with them.
Right. Trivia.
Yeah.
You know who the first now. A lot of people don't know this. The first year freshmen could play varsity football in the NCAA was 72, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah, and I did not know that until you told me that earlier.
I think that's right. Do you know who the first player to score a touchdown in 4 straight New Year's Day games? It was my cousin. It was Major Ogilvy.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh.
The Ohio State Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
They beat Ohio State and Woody Hayes. I think it was like 35-6.
Oh my gosh.
The very next Sugar Bowl, they played and beat Penn State with the goal line stand. He scored a touchdown in that game, and then he scored a touchdown in the national title game 2 years in a row in '79 when they beat Arkansas in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh yeah. And
his last game we were at, that was the Baylor Cotton Bowl.
That's cool.
And he was MVP in that game.
That's so cool.
He was the first person to score a touchdown in 4 straight New Year's Day games.
That's really cool. Yeah. Wow.
But I kept wondering, why did it take so long for that to happen? Freshmen couldn't play until 72. Yeah, so it wasn't going to happen until 75 had been the earliest it could have happened.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyway, one of those extreme facts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, any more stories?
Nothing.
You're done? You're out of all.
I got something interesting. I got the high school story about the. Did I tell you about the guy that came to talk to our geography class?
I don't think so.
He went to school at Virginia Tech.
Okay.
He goes to, I'm a senior in high school. I'm taking geography in high school. She brings in a speaker. Speaker comes in. He's talking, doing his geography deal. All I hear is he played football at Virginia Tech. So all I can think of the whole hour is, I can't wait to talk to this guy. So class gets dismissed. I walk up to him and I introduce myself to the guy. I said, so you played football at Virginia Tech? He said, yeah. I said, it was Virginia Polytechnic Institute at the time, right? It was VPI. And he goes, yeah. I said, do you remember playing Alabama in Birmingham? And he smiled real big, and at the same time, we literally went 77-6.
Oh my gosh!
And he goes, yeah. I go. I was a small kid, but I was there.
Uh-huh.
He goes, really?
That's so crazy.
I said, I went to that ball game.
Oh, that's so cool.
My dad was begging my mother, let's go to the house. Let's go. Well, mother like you, she wouldn't go until the final gun.
Yep.
And the focus on was,
absolutely.
I had no idea what the speech was about. Yeah, because I remember him actually saying it, and everybody says it about that game. Oklahoma's got games they can say that about too. Yeah. He goes, I think Coach Bryant played everybody but the cheerleaders. And I said, I think he did too. Yeah. I looked at the stats of that game. If you go back and look at stats for that game, I don't know how many kids they had that rushed for over 100, but there are at least 2. They had I don't know how many ball carriers they had, but they had 1 million of them.
Oh my god.
Well, run the wishbone too, but still, there were the rushing yards for that game were believable.
That's crazy.
I don't remember the numbers, but it was insane.
I love it.
I know it was at least 400 or 500 yards rushing. It was insane. Virginia Tech wasn't very good back then.
Clearly not.
And I'm sure it was a September game.
Yeah, probably. Well, we're wrapping up our conversation, but I'm so glad I got to reminisce and talk with you about all your stories.
I'm
football.
Flattered that you asked me to.
Of course. I mean, I didn't have to, but I had to.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Well, see, now I expect to be here.
Okay, we'll do
A year
it
from
again.
now.
Okay, we'll do it. It can be our annual thing.
Man, I'm telling you,
totally
it's
fine
fun.
with it.
Roll Tide, boom
Hey,
Sooner.
no, that's right.
I'm just pulling for whoever's playing offense, pretty much.
Okay,